Hello, everybody. Welcome once again. Adilola Shokoya here. So good to be back here. So this week, I want us to look at the market. First, before we move on, I want to say compliment of the season. We have less than, I think, just about 10 days to the end of this year. It's been an eventful year, if you if you ask me. And to see, today towards the end of the year, it's all by the grace of God, right? So anyway, let's move on. So basically, I want us to look at this market this week. This week also is also an eventful week, like I mentioned, is towards the end of the year. By 24th, 25th, thereabout. 25th is Christmas, 26th is Boxing Day. Those are public holidays. You won't see a lot of actions from that 24th, 25th towards the end of the year. So I think this might be our last video for the year for the weekly analysis. All right, so I just quickly want us to, in our usual manner. Last week also was very eventful. Let me check. Forex factory. You see a lot of red calendar economic data, high impact news that came out last week, from the Canadian CPI to the Japanese interest rate increase to even the United States had no farm pay. After the government, came back. There was a shutdown. There was a government shutdown in the U.S. So we've had backlogs of non-farm pay that have not been released. But this past week we had them, had this release, and it wasn't so good for the US if you ask me. CPI also, if we go down on Thursday was when we had the Japanese increase their interest rate, as you can see, to 0.75% after almost 30 years. They've not increased their interest rate for in a while. This is the first time they're doing that, and we'll see the effect on the chart also, because it doesn't really make any difference. Anyway, when we get to the GPU IPS, I'm going to talk about what actually happened. The carry trade. I'll talk about the carry trade and what it means, to you as a trader, and what you need to watch out for, if you like to trade those pairs. All right, so let's go to the chart. So, like I mentioned, the year is rounding up actually. So, whatever you're seeing, on the chart is just the traders trying to round up and close their books, balance their books. I'm talking about major traders and institutions. So basically, as the year rounds up, what we are seeing is that the dollar is, gradually pulling back. For me, like I mentioned last week, I'm still very bearish on the dollar. I've said it. I've said it so many times. If you have been watching my videos, the reason why the dollar has been so bearish, so many uncertainty, by the new government, the present government. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of talk on tariff. We'll increase tariff, reduce tariff. Just back and forth, back and forth. So has made the dollar to be very, very, very uh, unreliable, if I want to use that word, and it's been very bearish. As you can see on the weekly time frame, we've been facing down since the beginning of the year. If you look at from this top, I think this is around February, just about the time when the present government came into office. We're having dollar. But however, in the past couple of weeks, we've been sitting on this support. Price has been bouncing off that support. And like I like to say, treat what you see. Okay, don't impose. Don't say the dollar is bad, and you're trying to every time you're trying to sell the dollar. And if you're trying to do that, you see, you'll be losing money at least from this spot since 8th of September. If you're trying to say the dollar is bearish, and you're not following, what the pattern that is being printed. As far as I'm concerned, like I said, I'm still bearish on the dollar. But however, we're having a pullback, and this is ready for the market. It's ready for the currency anyway. It's very good that we have this pullback. I would say that let's see what price has been doing. Let's check out Bitcoin, for example. We see that Bitcoin also, my talk on Bitcoin, that Bitcoin has also been bearish, but then however, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. Although we are sitting on the support right now around the $88,000, and price, is gradually, pushing back, looking like it wants to push to the upside. But however, I mentioned last week that this support, $81,000 support, if it breaks, we might be approaching the 70,000, area around this zone, this about $74,000 zone. but for now we are still sitting on the 80,000 zone. Bitcoin being what it is, I think we are entering the bearish cycle, where we are seeing a lot of sell-off for crypto. For right now, as at this moment, we are seeing crypto that have lost value up to the tune of 70%, 80%. Imagine when we now enter the bear cycle, what we're going to be seeing. All right. So, but however, I think if you are thinking long term like myself, like if I'm my crypto group, my WhatsApp, see me mention this, that I've started doing DCA into Bitcoin. Gradually I've started buying and keeping it. Why? Because uh, I'm long term. I have a long term bias on Bitcoin, so I always buy when price is crashing like this, which is the best time to buy. Like Warren Buffett said that you when the market is bearish, okay, or when the market is red, that's when you want to buy. Ehen. He said be greedy when the populace, when a lot of the traders are fearful, and be fearful when they are greedy. So right now, this is the season where you are looking for opportunity to just acquire Bitcoin. Although if you ask me, I'm still expecting price to come to the 70,000 each area around the zone. But however, I've started doing some DCA. Like I mentioned, it's for long term. At this point, I don't mind whatever price does, with Bitcoin. Even if it goes to the $50,000 area, I'll still, as a matter of fact, that would be, a very good opportunity to even acquire more. All right, for the long run to hold, for the long run. But right now, however, we are sitting on this support. If you want to day trade, price for Bitcoin, you want to wait for price to come to the POI, to point of interest, to come to this zone, to pull back, you know, a little bit when price open to the zone, and wait for that bounce around the support before you take your buy. However, if you're a very conservative person and you're looking for buying opportunity, as long as this support holds and you don't see a break, lower than this area, you want to probably wait for break and retest, wait for price to take out this trend line that I have here. One of the things you will see that price will do is that we have this break of trend line. Price will do this, price will break, and then come back and test. You can see, an example of that around this zone. I think we have that around this zone. We have price, do this, violate this trend line. Let me draw that properly. And the price came back there. After this breakout, we have this minor breakout. And price came back there, and we have this, trend. But however, at this point, because price has been, we've seen a lot of break of structure on the higher time frame to the downside. If I do this, we've seen a lot of break of structure. There's a break of structure somewhere around there. Structure has been violated here. So price has actually taken out, structure around this zone. So that tells you, and on this daily time frame, and if you see structure broken like this on any instrument, that instrument is heading to the downside. And that's why we saw that price, broke structure to the downside, test that support, and then crash. So this is also an area you want to pay attention to if you are taking a long from this zone. All right, that's that on Bitcoin. So let's look at gold. Gold being a safe haven has been pushing to the upside. I think I caught this buy last week, 2 weeks ago. I think I shared it last week as well in this video. Although I didn't drop this gold trend, this particular one on the Telegram group, I actually took this buy. And for now, I'm off gold. I'm watching what price will do around this zone. I want to see what price will do. I'm hoping that towards the end of the year, as we are rounding up the year, we might not see a lot of activities. So probably price will pull back a little bit into January. You might see price just range around this zone into January before we have that open. But if you ask me, I think gold is coming to this zone. You should be seeing gold, doing this to around this 4,750, probably before the end of next year. I mean, I've seen a lot of analysts say the same thing, that we should take out this zone. But like I always say in this channel, I love to see what make market very healthy is when we have a proper pullback. I pray we have that proper pullback probably early next year, before that journey starts. Hope we have a proper pullback into this zone, and then we do this. All right. And I mean, that's what makes the market very healthy. When you have market pulling back and then continuing to the trend, whether it's going down, it's going up. You want that retracement, you want that volatility. That's the beauty of trading gold. If you've been trading gold, you will really love good volatility, because even if sometimes you might have thought that you have lost the opportunity to trade, but price will still come back to you know to carry along those I call latecomers. Sometimes now, if you look at this structure, what we have here, your price did this. If you are thought that you have missed the buy opportunity around this zone, price still came back to the support before we have this continuation. All right. It's the beauty of an instrument like gold that moves properly in waves. There are some instruments that they don't move properly. I mean, instrument like CHF, JPY, because the CHF currency, this is Switzerland franc, is a very strong currency against the Japanese yen that is weak. The opportunity for it to retrace is very, very low. If I go there, if I check, let's quickly check that the CHF JPY is a pair that I don't always sell, and I don't ask people to do that. You can see the forward time frame, the rate at which it's always taking off. You can see the pair, coupled to the fact that what we had last week, the JPY, like I explained this morning, earlier rather, the JPY, the Bank of Japan increasing interest rate, and the fact that that has been priced in. I've seen that a lot of people asking why did they increase interest rate, and the Japanese yen is still very weak. Two things majorly. The number one thing is that traders had already priced in that interest rate increment, and that's why you are seeing some of this retracement that you are seeing on this CHF JPY. If you go to let's check the GBP or USD. I think USD JPY is a perfect example. You know, if you check USD JPY properly, what you will notice that we already have those pullbacks that's been playing out over time. We have some here, we have some here. There's some pullbacks here. As you can see, there's one here. We have support formed around this zone. We have another one. There's another one that's formed there. So price, keeps doing this. But before that announcement, we already have this pullback last week. And then after the announcement, we see this breakout. The reason is very simple. Number one, traders have already priced that in. Number two, the interest rates of the Japanese yen is still very low. It still encourages carry trade. That means the US interest rate is between 3.5 and 3.75%. In Europe too, their interest rate is still well above, I think, 2% thereabout. So that actually encourages more traders to buy the Japanese yen. To the carry trade means that they go buy the Japanese yen. I mean, they go take a loan on the Japanese yen to sell it off on another currency. So I said, but because it still encourages carry trade, so that's why you can see this. We didn't see so much difference, other than price keeps pushing to the upside. I mean, the Japanese yen in the forex market for this year, 2025, has been labeled as a worst currency because the sell-off has been crazy. If I go to the Japanese yen index, the YPJ, uh, let me check. Okay, I think I've had it here. Hold on. Okay, this you can see the sell-off is crazy. It's been selling off since forever. However, April this year we have this major sell-off. But if you look at the weekly time frame, you can see that it's just been on the downward trend for since 2020, since forever, not even only 2022. If you zoom out properly, you can see that it's been on the downward trend for, I mean, since since inception. So and they deliberately keep their currency this way so that to allow export, because you talk about big companies that come from Japan like Toyota, Mazda, and the other big manufacturing companies. They need to ensure that their currency is not too strong for trade, to ensure that there's proper trading going on, commerce going on. So that's why they deliberately ensure that their currency is not as strong. All right, and they have kept their interest rate at 0% for a lot of years. I'm talking 20, 30 years before they started increasing the interest rate. I think last year, and now they have increased it again this year. All right, and they're in talk of also increasing it next year. All right, to keep increasing it next year. All right, so I would say that let's check other major currencies like pounds USD. What pounds USD did last week. As you can see, let me zoom out. Let me increase my pounds has been pulling back a little bit from this move. We've had this move. We've had price move all the way from here to this zone. So price has been on the uptrend. But like I mentioned earlier, towards the end, because in the end of the year, activity will slow down. So whatever you are seeing here is actually really pull back probably towards the end of this year. By next year, we should see. I strongly believe pounds should continue to the uptrend against the dollar next year. By January, when the trading activity, actually continue. Lastly, I want us to look at Euro USD. You can see the same pullback on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we're having that same pullback on the weekly time frame. However, we've been on the uptrend for some time. So into January, I'll be watching to see what price will do on on Euro USD. Probably wait for a pullback into this zone before I start buying. But for now, like I mentioned, you want to actually trade what you see on the chart. Before we go, if you are not subscribed to the channel, ensure you do so. Like this video and share. And also, we have a free Telegram group. If you have not joined us, I'll be dropping the link in the description below. Ensure you do so. All right, I'll be seeing you in the next video. Thank you.